Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dial Home Tech. And today, this is a little different. Today is our very first brand new schedule. We're going to be doing some streams. So today, we're going to be talking about smart home security. We're going to be talking about security cameras. So this is new. So hopefully it sticks. The idea is to get in here a little bit different from the videos and get some content out to you guys in this format. So first and foremost, I'm hoping everybody out there is nice and healthy. You're safe, your family and your loved ones during this difficult time that literally it's worldwide. So my thoughts and prayers and positive thoughts are with all of you guys, your families, your loved ones, hoping that everyone is safe. Also, thank you guys so much, the people that are here. So if you have joined us, I see there are a few people here. Come out to the chat, say hello. I see Chris there. So huge shout out to Chris. Thank you so much for coming up. Chris, what's going on? If you haven't yet, check out Chris Young's channel as well. He is on YouTube. Awesome guy. A lot of stuff, a lot of good content about HomeKit. So hey, what's up, Eric from Modern Day Tech? So thank you guys so much for coming over and showing up. I really appreciate that. So without any further ado, I actually want to talk to you guys, and I really want to share some things with you guys about home security. And also, I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of unboxing in ways of a security camera that was sent to me from a company, which I won't reveal just yet. We're going to hang around here a little bit more, talk about a few things, and then I'll share with you guys. But in order to give you guys actually some good content and some positive things to take with you from this live, I'm going to go over a few things and share a couple of things with you guys. So I want to title this, like 5 quick tips or 5 tips that you can use in your home security to how do you mitigate your home security? So these are some tips that a lot of times go under the radar and people don't really think about them, but they're really, really useful, and they're also great to get you started on how to plan and how to get going on your home security at home. So so I have a couple of things here that I really want to share with you guys. So let me pull up a couple of notes. I have some bullets that I want to share, and so the first one that I wanted to go through is definitely one of the tips that I use is that don't try to hide your cameras. Don't hide everything, especially if you're somebody that has cameras outside and you really want to protect your houses. Don't try to hide everything. I looked up on some stats, and about 81% of burglars out there will go to houses where they don't see where the camera is. So if there is a camera there, there's a huge chance that they will avoid your house, whether it's a camera sticking on the outside or it's a video doorbell. They really want to focus on those kind of like low-hanging fruits, places that don't really have any cameras, and it's very an opportunistic kind of thing. So don't try to hide everything. Make sure that your cameras are showing. You don't have to show all of them, but make sure that there's something in there telling that your house is being watched and that you have an eye on it, whether you're inside of the house or if you're away. So don't hide everything. Just make sure that you have good placement where the cameras that you have installed are showing, whether it's on the front or the back. Which kind of leads me to the second point that I wanted to bring it up is redundancy in coverage, right? So for instance, if you do have a doorbell, you definitely want to make sure. So let's say you have a video doorbell, don't exempt yourself from installing another camera at the front. So perhaps you may have a video doorbell, but with another camera, you can actually add that a little bit of redundancy or widen and spread in your field of view in case something happens to one of your cameras. So I don't know if you guys know, but like last week Nest had a big outage, and some of my cameras were actually not working. So make sure that you have that redundancy. So if you really want to kind of make sure that you're watching all the angles and things like that, don't worry about your garage camera picking up a little bit of your front yard. That's a good thing. And if you have your doorbell, don't worry about it picking up too much to the side. So I know a lot of these doorbells come with like an angler thing, depending on the setup of your front door. So don't be scared. Make sure that you're using that redundancy on your front door, as well as the sides, as well as the back. So having good coverage and have redundancy, it's actually something that helps in case in case something goes out and you don't have a single point of failure. So exactly. So Chris is saying right here, you don't have to be the fastest lion. You just have to be faster than the slowest gazelle. It's so true. Like it's an opportunity business, right? So you just have to make sure that you're covering all your angles, that you're covering everything that you can with the minimum amount of hardware, so kind of saves you some money there. The other thing is, my number 3 is motion, right? A lot of people get so kind of fed up with, the notifications throughout the day and things like that. And let me tell you, I actually talked about it in one of my IFTTT videos, that there are ways, and I think Nest does that as well, that you can set up windows, or you can kind of time your notifications to like a certain way. If you don't want everything coming in through like phone notifications, you can kind of receive them via email, so you check them at your leisure. But in my opinion, I think that the notification serves its purpose. It's because something happened, you're being notified, right? So it can get noisy sometimes, and it can get a little bit tedious. But a lot of these cameras, especially like some of the mainstream ones, you can set up, the level of movement, the level of how quickly something will be picked up and things like that. So you can actually use that to your advantage, so that you're not getting everything, right? Some of you guys have indoor cameras. I know I do, and I have a dog, so I don't want my dog moving in front of the camera and that notification coming in every time. So you can set up zones, right? So let's say if you're watching a particular door, you don't care if something moves in the middle of the living room, but you do care if that door opens. So that is such a good thing to be watching for. So make sure you're setting up zones. That's very, very good. So here, Chris is saying Ring has the ability as well. So you can set up a window and when you want your notifications to come in. So there you go. So, I don't have any Ring products, but I have the, Nest, I have Wyze, I have a couple other cameras that let you do those things. So you can set up windows of notifications, as well as not scenes, but rather areas. So you can set up like alert areas where if something happens there, you just get notified by it. But don't play out your notifications, guys. Don't play them down. They are very important. And do receive them, check on them regularly. It's very important. If something happens, it's probably there for a reason, right? So whether it's a sound notification, I know a lot of these cameras are doing that nowadays, or just simply motion. So make sure you are checking for that as well. Number 4, power and Wi-Fi connectivity. If you're installing outdoor cameras, you have to keep that in mind. I was, fiddling with one of my cameras outside, and I noticed that my Wi-Fi connectivity on that was extremely poor. So I had to, just replace it, remap it, and look to where I wanted that installed. So that's really, really important, as well as the power. So you got to make sure that it's not just easily, disassembled or disabled. You don't want to just, put the camera out there with a plug right underneath. Somebody can just kind of, cover their faces, walk right up, and didn't really serve much of its purpose. So definitely keep in mind how you're wiring your power and your Wi-Fi connectivity. You want that camera to be connected as much as possible. And if you have a true wireless camera, make sure that you're staying on top of your batteries. It's very, very important that you're checking your batteries, that you're checking to see when these things are there. So definitely keep that in mind. Another good tip is to, if you are running your cables on the inside where you have a plug or where you have better access, make sure that you're not leaving your cables, sticking out in the open. Somebody can just get up there and clip them. I think I believe Nest has, I think the Nest IQ camera, that it has a different wiring that comes right from the back of the camera. So as you're installing it on your wall, there's like the cable comes right from the back, so that you don't have to worry about that. So it's a easy and safe way that somebody could not get to the power cable if they wanted to clip it, or they couldn't just unplug it from something. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Your power and Wi-Fi connectivity, super, super important. The other thing I wanted to talk about is security. I know I have a couple of security guys here on the chat. So this is of utmost importance, guys. People don't get hacked because somebody leaked their password or anything like that. It's because people have really, really weak passwords. Somebody may find out what your Facebook password is. Chances are you probably use that password somewhere else. And that's what they do. They will find somebody's password to their, whatever, like a Facebook or a social media or something. And what they'll do is hackers will try that password on everything. They literally will go to every single possible bank, try that email and that password until they have, a good hit. And the same thing happens for smart home products. So make sure that you are, number one, using very difficult passwords. And how to do that is that if you don't want to have to come up with different passwords all the time, you can use a password generator. Like LastPass is a great one where you can generate and store your passwords right there and then. The other thing is, make sure you turn on your two-factor authentication. That's also really important to make sure that when you are accessing that account, only you can do it, because the authentication, the authorization is coming directly to your phone. So you know that, hey, it's that person, or hey, it's me. I know who's getting access to it. So make sure that you check the security. Follow these simple steps: good passwords and also two-factor authentication. These two things, I guarantee you, will make your house and all of your smart devices a lot safer. We have a common friend that also has another really good tip when it comes to setting up, these things. But it's not just, your security camera. It's, for all of your smart home devices, make sure that you are segregating your Wi-Fi connections. Make sure that, your smart stuff is not really on the same network as your mobile devices, as your laptop. So make sure that you keep those separate. Make that differentiation. It really pays off. In case something goes sideways or somebody gains access to a password or one of your wireless connections. So that's number 5. Now I will throw a bonus one down here at the end, and that is multi-use cameras. A lot of people just kind of look at this, smart camera market, and they think like, oh, these are just cameras that I can place it on the outside. But on the contrary, a lot of these cameras are multi-use cameras. You can use them to use them as baby monitors. You can use them as nanny cameras or even pet cameras. So make sure that if you're picking up, you don't have to pick up like a very expensive camera. I know, some of the higher end ones will go upwards of, 170, 180, $200, depending on what kind of camera you're buying, or more. But get something that kind of fits your budget, fits the use case you are looking for. Whether it's you don't need a $200 camera for a baby monitor. There's a lot of options out there on the market today that can suffice and fulfill that with just roughly about, I don't know, 20, 30, $40. So you can save a lot of dollars there by doing multi-use when it comes to smart security cameras. So make sure that you're using that for, pet cameras too. I know a lot of folks, leave their house and they have like a dog walker, and you kind of want to check it out, how things are going. I have a colleague at work that, he has a dog, and he's always constantly checking on his dog because he has a dog walker that comes in, and, he didn't spend a ton of money on the high-end camera. He just got a camera that kind of fits its purpose. He watches the dog. He sees how the person, is handling his pet, and that goes for for everything. So make sure that you're doing that. There's a lot of repurposed cameras. You don't have to go to whatever your store of preference is and look for 160, 170, 200, $300 baby monitor, when a lot of times you can get all of the same features, if not more, on a lot more cheaper Wi-Fi, wireless, or even wire-free smart security cameras for the house. So that's a good thing there. I've repurposed some of my cameras for that, and I think it's a good little approach. So I definitely want to talk to you guys a little bit here in the chat. So John Abassi here is saying, very true. Money does not equal to what you always need. Circumstance is key. So yeah, exactly. So John, you hit the nail on the head there. It's about getting what you need. You don't always need the most expensive thing out there to make sure that it fulfills its need, or it's what you would expect from a good product. A lot of times there are a lot of good products on the market that sometimes will cost a fraction of your of the mainstream one, or the more the main brand one. So definitely check that out. So it's a good way of repurposing and making sure that you're using those cameras for circumstantial occasions. So also I want to interact with some of you guys here. Chris is saying the counterpoint is that you should be willing to spend where you need it. That is so true. So I think that comes to a lot of things when it comes to smart home in general, right? Some people are trying to save some money on one end. I know some of the things that I do, I don't always spend a ton, but there are other things that I think are of utmost importance to me, right? So one of the examples I have, and I tell a lot of my friends that I share this experience with, is that when I did my family room, I wanted to get electric blinds, so like mechanical blinds on there, and there were a lot of options out there on the market, with that. But the one that actually kind of fulfilled my need and had everything that I wanted, is including the integration to smart platforms, was Lutron. So I ended up going with the Lutron Serena shades, and while there were some cheaper options out there on the market, I did get everything I was looking for on the quality, as well as the integration, right? So sometimes you're trying to spend a little less, but you're not really getting everything that you might be looking for, or some of those things that are very, very important to you. If you kind of turn it around and put that on cameras, you can spend a lot of money on cameras that don't have, or actually are cameras that include some sort of like paid service, or things like that. So definitely check out cameras that provide what you're looking for, whether it's like out of the box or something that includes a paid service on the side. Um, so right before we get going here, I want to read some more comments here. So Chris was saying the network segmentation is so important. Yes, it is, especially if you've saved money on low-cost items, which probably aren't patched often by the manufacturers. That is so true. We have had experiences in our group of friends, talking about certain products where it could potentially be a product that is not as expensive. So sometimes that may be a little bit of cut in cost on the security aspect of it, maybe on the on the QA of that product. A lot of companies could be cutting that cost. They're not spending the appropriate money on the algorithm for protection and authorization and authentication for those devices. So make sure that you're really, really mindful of that. And if you are not, see if this is some of the things that, some of the stuff that kind of goes under your radar, then the easiest way to solve that problem is segmentation. So network segmentation, we cannot stress it enough. It's very, very important. Okay, so if you guys on the chat want to ask any other questions or make any other comments, make sure you keep them coming. We have a few people here trying to connect with you guys. wanted to say hello to everyone. So awesome to see everyone here. Thank you guys so much for joining. This is awesome. I really appreciate all the support. Really appreciate you guys stopping by and talking it over. So I don't want to, keep prolonging, but I do want to get into what the next thing is for us. And as I promised, we are going to be reviewing a product that I have recently got. So and then I'll share with you guys what it is. It is a security camera, and I want to show you guys. I got it right here, and it's this guy right here. So if for those of you who haven't seen it, this security camera right here is by a company called Laville. So they have reached out to me and they said, hey, we know that you're it looks like something on a wall. Yeah, I agree. When I picked up the camera, I was like, wow, this is really cool. I love the build. The build is really, really nice. It's really, really cool. I when you look at it, it's something that I don't know, Apple would make it. It's just a shiny, and it's got like a really good solid build. It's not flimsy. Really, really awesome. I enjoyed it, and when I picked it up, I was like, wow, this feels like a sturdy, a good camera. And I'll share some details with you guys. And then we can talk about it. So this particular model right here is the Laville R3 HD. So it's a 1080p pin tilt Wi-Fi wireless cloud security camera. So this little guy right here not only records what's in front of you, but it can record what's around as well as behind you. So it's a full 360 pan on this little guy, and it's pretty awesome. So I had the opportunity to get it and test it. And I had, a really, really good experience with it. So I actually want to, share with you guys. So, I do want to thank, Laville for sending the camera. But as you guys know me, my channel. When I review any product that comes into my hand, the opinions are really my own, and it's really about the experience I've had with the product. So I really want to share that with you guys to make sure that I'm not here selling you guys a product. I'm here telling you guys what my experience with it was, so that you can draw your own conclusions on it. But I will give you guys, some of the details and some of the experiences I had. So actually, before I do that, I see the Laville guys are on the chat. So hey guys, thanks for talking about this. Safety and security are so important at home, especially right now. I agree. All of us are home right now. Our loved ones are home right now. Our family, we gotta watch. I for one have really raised the bar in my concern with my family security in times like this. We see some pretty crazy stuff out there. I want to protect my home. I want to protect my family, and and having home security is super, super important. So thank you guys from Laville for stopping by. Really awesome to see you here. But let me give you guys some details, right? So this is the R3 HD. This is a full HD 1920 by 1080p 2.1 megapixel resolution. So I tested this. This is, if you're talking about comparison, like what does this compare like on the market today? So I would say this compares pretty well to the wyze camera, the wyze pan, I believe, which is the one that kind of rotates around. Same thing, 360 pan. I have used the wyze pan, and I have used the Laville. So some of my main thoughts on this. The first thing that really stuck out to me after using this was the image quality, right? It's really, really hi-fi. When I say hi-fi, is that it's got really high fidelity to the movement. So I don't know if it was like a latency thing, but in my network, like everything moved so crisply, like as the camera was capturing, everything was just like super, super real time. And I'm saying this because, in some of my wyze cams, my son runs to the front of the camera, and then he does something, and then he runs to the front of like my my Echo Show to see something that he did. So like he keeps doing that. So there's this huge latency thing that happens, and I don't know if it's something to do with their service, but I tested on both ends, and it was really, really good. Super, super like high high fidelity. good quality and extremely spot on, like when it came to the timing. So that was really, really nice. Yeah, so if it keeps the kids busy, it sounds like it sounds like point to eyes on this one. So this one is really, really nice, and it's definitely really cool. Definitely enjoyed the quality of the camera. It does have, so the second thing that really, really kind of grabbed my attention, and these were the two main things on this for Laville when it came to the product for me, was the quality on the mic, right? So it does have two-way radio. I'm sorry, two-way audio right here on the back. So there's like a little speaker on the back. And you can, just stay in contact with anyone, or if you need to get a message, you need to get a message out. Like if you see something, or if you see someone inside of your house and you need to speak, the two-way audio on this is flawless. The experiences I've had with a couple of other cameras, and that includes wyze as well as SimCam. The two-way audio was just decent at best. This right here, this camera right here, has the clearest two-way audio I have heard to date on a portable or a home smart camera. So huge points for them on that aspect. So I really, really enjoyed it. The audio was again high fidelity audio, very, very clear, super concise to what I was saying, and during my testing. So that was really, really nice. It does have a customizable motion detection, so you can use your motion detection, as we were speaking in the beginning. You can use either motion detection, set up your zones and things like that, or you can use sound. So a lot of people nowadays are using the Alexa Guard, right? So the Alexa Guard will take care of your home when you're away, by listening in to smoke alarms, broken glass, and things like that. So this little guy right here has a very sensitive microphone that helps you to understand if there's been noise, or if there's been something inside of the house loud enough to trigger a notification on this. So I've used it, I've tested it, and the results were good. Like I've dropped a few things and ran inside, or had my son kind of playing and speaking loudly, and yeah, the notification did not fail to come in. It came in every time. So Chris on the chat is asking about ecosystem support, right? Assuming Google and Amazon and HomeKit. So currently, Chris, this particular camera right here, as far as ecosystem support, has Google, so it's Google Home, as well as Amazon Alexa integration. The HomeKit is not there yet. So this is probably a good question, and something I did not find anything on their website, did not find anything on Laville's blogs or comments about HomeKit support in the near future. So I know, sorry, I keep saying the A word. I apologize. I'll try to be mindful of that. But yeah, no HomeKit support just yet. So let me read a couple more comments here before we move on. It does look like a thing from Wally. Chris from Modern Day Tech is saying, also, if you haven't checked it out and you're a HomeKit guy, make sure you check Eric on Modern Day Tech. Big shout out to you, Eric. Thanks for coming over. Appreciate you as well, buddy. So it does look like a thing for Wally. Is it a true 360, or does it have a stopping point, or does it continue to turn? Good question. It is not a like a full 360 where you can just keep rotating it over and over and over again. It'll stop, on the very back, and then you can kind of rotate it around to go around to the back as well again. Now, one of the cool things though is that it pans not only sideways, but it pans also. So it's not just a horizontal pan, it does a vertical pan as well. And that was one of the things I liked. The response time on the joystick. So you have this virtual joystick on the app that you can do it, and you can use it to kind of move the camera, is extremely fast. Like as soon as you touch it, the camera moves. It's like, it's almost real time. So a lot of these cameras, so for example, I've used SimCam. There's a review on my channel of the SimCam. So if you check it out, you can see when I'm moving the joystick, it takes like a second. There's a little bit of a delay there. It takes like a couple of seconds, a second and a half, 2 seconds for that, for that motion to kick start. And really have your camera start like panning. And then when you stop moving, it'll still go and then it'll stop. This one, extremely responsive on that end. So that was really, really nice. Really, really like that. So Peter Chan is asking, how easy was the setup process? Peter, the setup process was extremely easy. If you have, installed any smart devices before, this is no different in any of your smart devices that you have done. So you kind of plug it in, and I'll answer Chris's question following it. He asked if it is USB supported. So this is what comes in the box with the camera. You do have a USB cable as well as your USB power right here. A couple other things that came with it. This is a base for it with a 3M attaching tape on the bottom. So you can kind of stick this somewhere where you feel like it's a good place for you to do it. So you can do it using the 3M tape, or you can just simply place it on top of a desk. Or whatever is it that you want to place it on top of. And also a couple other things that came. It came with some screws in case you want to mount it. So you can mount this by using the base. So there's some screw holes right here on the bottom. You can use these right here, the screws to mount it. And it came in with this little guy right here. I don't know if you can see, but it's just a SD card pop. So it's like you insert in a little hole, pops the SD card, and then you can kind of use it that way. So one of the things I wanted to go over is that you can use via SD card. So if you're using an SD card, you can just pop it right here to the front. So it does record. It doesn't require an SD card to work. You can use SD card to record locally, so that option is available to you. And you can also use a paid service. They have a paid service for cloud. So I would expect them to offer some sort of free service when it came to that. I know Wyze offers like 14 days of free storage on the cloud. That option is not available on this particular camera. So to me, it's a little bit of a letdown when it came to that. I would expect something, on the cloud for free. I don't know, like 7 days or something like that. So I really wish that option was available there. Hopefully they will do that, in the future, but currently is not available as a free service for the cloud. You do have to pay for it if you want to, a little bit of a subscription fee there. But the other side of it is that for folks that are really mindful about storing their footage and Laview on a cloud, you do have the option of storing it locally. So I have a lot of friends that like to, when it comes to camera and things like that, they like to keep everything very local, right there and then. So that that may not, the paid subscription may not apply to you, but it's there for you as an option if you so choose. So I also want to say, okay, so Chris taking off. Thank you so much, Chris, for showing up. I appreciate you coming over. Awesome that you guys are here. So I do want to say, so I think Jordan M, can you download videos via the app? And the answer is yes, Jordan, you can. When you are on the app, you have access to your clips, and you can save those clips onto your mobile device so that you have access to them. The application is good. I, as as a mobile engineer, a UI engineer for many years, I am a little bit picky when it comes to UIs and application usability, user friendliness, and the application is good. There are a lot of aspects of it that I think are really good. But sometimes it can be a little bit troublesome. Like I had some issues on flipping the video, right? So I wanted to watch it in full screen. Sometimes it was, the app would crash because it wouldn't, properly rotate from horizontal to, like a landscape mode if I wanted to. A couple of restarts, and and it started working, but initially wasn't the experience I was looking for, right off the bat, that good, consistent experience. But it was very good. The Again, like I said, one of the best images I've seen on these cameras. So that, you still have all the access. The app is fully functioning. I've used some apps before that were, troublesome to say the least. But this was very good. Definitely something that can be used, without any trouble. So the setup process was easy, and you can download your snippets via the app. So the Laville guys are saying the R3 supports Google Assistant and Amazon A. Very few models on the market support two-way audio, so that you can talk to your Echo Show right from the camera, not just from the video feed. So that is true. So you can actually fire commands from your camera away to your local supported smart home product. So whether you're using a Google Home or you're using an Echo product, so you can do that. You can control it from a distance. So that is really, really cool. And that to me was one of the things that I said. The other cameras I've tested, the audio quality was really subpar. I didn't really like it. There wasn't really an engagement there, not enough clarity. But this was extremely clean and clear, very easy to understand. Really, really enjoyed that. So that was really nice. Now, let's keep going here. A couple more things I want to touch on. It does have night vision up to 33 feet. So this is, I think, the longest or furthest, night vision ones that I've tested so far. So there are some ones that up to roughly right at the 20-foot mark, you start losing quality on your video. This right here, I started losing quality right around like 28, 29 feet. But if you're looking at a person and you want to see a person's face, you're not going to be able to see much beyond like 20 feet or anything like that. But you do have a good environmental picture all the way up to like 30 feet, 31, 32 feet. So that was really, really good. So, comparing to the other cameras I currently use and that I currently have, this was not, this was in no way, shape or form, worse than any of them. On the contrary, I had a better experience with this guy than a couple of the other cameras that I use, including the Wyze camera. So let's talk about a couple more things here. This is a camera that does have, as I mentioned to you guys, it works with Amazon A as well as Google Home, and it does have cloud storage for you guys that want to use this. On the cloud, and you want to have the ability to store those things out there in the open. So if you guys have any other questions, just put them on the chat and I'll try to answer them. I want to talk about a couple more points here before we go, but I wanted to thank the guys from Laville again for sending it over and for letting me review this. So a couple other things I want to touch on was the app does give you a lot of good notification kind of customization, right? So you can customize how sensitive those need to be, what you want them to be. You do have the zone. You have like a zone opportunity or zone ability to create those zones in order to get them set up. So that was really nice. I kind of put mine a little more less sensitive because of my dog. So that was really good. I really wanted just the noise one, as well as, like a person kind of, aiming at that general direction if something happened at that particular door or that particular window, to make sure that, those things were being covered in my in my field of view. So another big, kudos to them, to the Laville guys, because that worked really flawlessly. I really enjoyed that. The features, were really, really good, really, really nice. So, yeah, guys, this is pretty much it, to this little guy right here. Oh, I forgot one of the most important things, and is the price. I know it surprised me that nobody really asked that, but the price. So you may be asking, how much does this guy cost? As opposed to everything else that's on the market there. So this guy right here costs $40, $39.99. And you can get them from the Laville guys. And what I'll do is I'm gonna put the links on my description so you can check them out. Following the stream, I'll update the description with the links so that you guys can find a place where you can order yours if you're interested in. But to me, right now, today on the market, 360 pen camera, best bang for your buck right here. Like, I have tested like a few cameras, and I keep saying wyze because they're the ones that have taken the market initially. But this camera right here just does what they do, and better, right? So I have had tons of issues with wyze, and I do have other cameras in, but I'm not putting this so much in their categories. They're a little more on the higher end, like the Nests and a couple other cameras, like the Sim Cam, that have different sorts of features. But for $40, this guy right here, in my just kind of opinion from my testing and my experience with it, is definitely one of the best cameras right there on the market that you can get. And as I was mentioning to you guys, you don't need to get this as as a security camera. You can repurpose for your pet camera. You can repurpose for an nanny cam, or you can use it as just like a baby monitor. This is a great investment if it's being used as a baby monitor. So definitely awesome experience there with this camera for the price. $40, definitely worth it. So if you're looking to get a good camera, very, very solid features, and really unbeatable price when it comes to smart home tech, affordable, $40 is pretty awesome to get started. So and the guys from Laville are saying cloud storage is optional, as I mentioned, for the R3 camera, for additional backup with a 14-day plan or a 30-day plan. And it comes with the free 30-day trial included. So you can try for 30 days for free and see if it's your thing. If you do need that storage, I from experience am that kind of person that if I'm gonna get something, I just get it. I don't go with the if you need it, or because when you need it, you will wish you would have had it. So it's just like insurance, guys. You don't need it until you need it. So if it's something that is very important to you, it's worth the investment, right? So definitely make the investment there. Get the subscription if it's something that is important to you. So a couple last questions here. So Jordan was asking, can multiple people view the camera from their phones? And the answer is actually yes, Jordan. So you can share the account. They will have to install the app. You can log in on the app for your other mobile device with the account, and you do have access to the live view. So you have the same ability to use on device number 1 as you do on device number 2. So that's really cool. If you have like a spouse or your partner's significant one, you want to do that and you want to share that with them, you do have the ability to do so with the Laville R3. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I want to talk about a couple of points here just to wrap it up. So again, if you're on the market for security cameras, now is a good time for you guys to probably snag one, start getting into it. Security of your house, it's really, really important, guys. Don't take that for granted. It's also a good way to get started if you're someone who doesn't know a lot about smart home and you're just kind of intimidated by it. That's really what my channel is all about, is just taking that intimidation of like, oh, smart home and home automation is really for people that engineers that know all this stuff. Like, really, it isn't. Guys like Laville make these things very user friendly, very easy to get into, and with the appropriate platform, it's easy to kind of log in, access your devices from anywhere in the world, and really keep an eye on your home, whether you're traveling or at work. I know I use a ton. It's saved me so much headache, and it saved me so much trouble, and giving me the peace of mind that I need. So definitely check out this camera if you're looking to get into the smart home realm, and if you're just really want to kind of beef up your security around the house. So, well, with that said, guys, I want to, kind of wrap it up and say thank you guys so very much for showing up to the first live view of the channel. I really appreciate all of you guys, and I'm gonna try to do this every Tuesday. Yeah, so get together with you guys, chat, interact, and really spend some time with you guys chatting about home security, smart home, my tech stuff that I review on the channel. So I really, really appreciate that. So, well, with that, I think I'm gonna be closing it up. I see a few more people here chatting. I wanna, does the app stable? So Brian Sue is asking, does the app stable? So he's probably asking like the stability of the app. Yes. So like I said, Brian, the stability of the app was good. Not the best one I've used, but far from being the worst one I've used. So just to kind of gauge it a little bit, I think that Nest, when you're purchasing their products, you're really buying into the ecosystem. So Google does a fantastic job there. So they pour a ton of investment, and that's not even like like really, really great mobile app, but they've poured a ton of investment there. The app is very user friendly. It's I think it's a good app, as compared to what's out there in the market today. The app that Laville uses is good. It's an app that has everything: ease of access, good user friendly UI, not really hard to navigate. But I did have just a couple of issues with the app crashing on me a couple of times when I was fiddling with the video, whether it was trying to turn it into landscape mode, or just kind of starting and pausing the video. But they were not consistent, so that to me was kind of like, okay, so these are some of the things that these guys are probably still working on, and they will get better over time. So I am giving them the benefit of the doubt to get a lot of these things worked out. This is they've been doing cameras for a while, but this is kind of their initial step into this this market, if you say, like the more affordable security cameras, the ones that more streamlined consumers are most likely going to be getting, the $20, the $25, the $30, $40 cameras out there in the market today. So well, with that, I want to say thank you guys so much for coming over. Thank you guys so much from the Laville team for stopping by, taking the time to answer questions, provide feedback, and really just kind of interacting with everyone here on the chat. That speaks volume, guys. When somebody from the company actually want to go there and spend time and really talk and get down to the the nitty gritty and things like that. So I really appreciate them. Really enjoyed using their product, and will continue to use. So this is something that is now part of my smart home stack. So really enjoyed, and it's definitely something that I look investing into for any other need that I may have for a pen camera or whatever the case may be. So definitely really good, solid product. And it does come with a good recommendation from Dial Home Tech. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much again. Really stay safe, stay healthy. And until next time, I'm Dial. See you guys next time.